just won't listen to me. I made this channel to get a voice. A voice for the voiceless. No matter how much I speak, you're not going to listen. You're not going to hear me. Speaking out is the easiest thing to do. Those of you who use poverty as your excuse. If you can argue with somebody on the phone for 4 hours, then you've got the resources to speak up. It is that simple. I'm a victim of long-term abuse against the disabled. You get to see how our rights are trampled over and over again. How we have to trust people. Who's going to help us? Nobody. The only people who pretend to are people who are taking advantage of us. And they are taking advantage of us. Many people didn't want their secrets out. I don't give a shit. You had the chance to come forward yourself. A lot of people wanted to make every excuse to make no efforts to try because I'm not the right color. You get to see how much differently I was treated by the police, by the courts, by the people. You get to see how differently my friends were. When I couldn't take care of myself, what did they do? They took advantage every fucking opportunity. Treated me like I was some sort of a horrible person for being injured. Like I was a horrible person for trying to get help when people are threatening to kill me and my friends and family, and people are assaulting me. And they're cutting me off from all of the resources that I'm being sent to. None of you cared. Now, once your name is up on my YouTube channel, you care then, don't you? Don't fucking preach at the fucking peanut gallery. That's not help. And that's what literally everyone thinks that they should be doing in this situation. When it's a man, you just preach at him. You tell him what to do and what to think. That's all you do. You literally do nothing else to help a man except tell him how to think and feel. Your temporary band-aids are not fucking help. When you are a witness to a situation, and a person is having to expend $1,600 a month, a person who is disabled and has to live on less than $800 a month in disability money, and you're going to complain to them about how you're broke. Meanwhile, you've got a roof over your head, you've got access to the internet, you've got a lot of fucking access. Access to resources that I don't have access to. If you can make a call and argue with me and talk over me for 4 hours, you can make a call and fucking listen for 4 hours. You don't have to make everything into a fucking argument. It doesn't have to be a 4-hour fucking phone call. But when it's a man, you disrespect him. That's what you've been taught you're supposed to do. A man has to do it himself. If a man is victimized, he needs someone to go in with him or it's going to continue. When a disabled man is homeless, nobody fucking cares about him. We're all supposed to care about what gay people think. See, the LGBT community is not all-inclusive. Apparently, 1 in 4 students in America identify as LGBT. However, according to Ariana, nearly none of them qualify, because Ariana dresses like a woman as a man. Well, Ariana was born a man. Ariana is also missing right now. Who cares about Ariana other than me? None of you. None of you give a shit. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to care what these rednecks think. Right? Black people only see a white guy. Women only see a man. You only see what you want to see. You blame all men, and then you look at me. You see I have a beard. I must be a man. It must be okay to take it out on me. You know, the cops don't care. We're constantly bombarded with how we're supposed to feel sorry for all these people. Even on the homeless circuit, where there are no services. We're out there because we've been victimized primarily by women or men that they manipulated. That's the primary reason most of us males are out on the streets. These women who are telling us this goody two-shoes stuff, you know what? Fuck that. You don't get to play goody two-shoes and then go have sex with Phil McPhee and then pretend like you're a goody two-shoes. You're not. You're a garden variety whore. You get horny and you throw yourself at the nearest good-looking dude, and then while you're telling yourself that you're dating him, he's fucking 3 or 4 women casually. And then you want to bitch that he's cheating on you. He's not cheating on you. But meanwhile, I need help turning these things in. The police will blow me off as they have every single time. They're not going to bother to investigate any of these crimes. They never do. And that's because you don't care. One person who actually genuinely cares makes all the difference in the world. But they have to actually genuinely care. They can't be fakes. They can't be people who want to make it all about them every single time and then pretend like that's help. Or people who want to tell you to do things that you need help doing. You can't do them yourself. You've already fucking tried over and over again. And then they say, oh, I tried to help you and you wouldn't accept it. Fuck you. Did you actually help me or did you tell me what to do? Telling someone what to do is not help. Bossing someone around is not help. And that's the primary help that we get from women. That's the primary help that we get from men, from police, told to do things that don't work over and over again, being lied to over and over again. And we're just supposed to let it go. That's your advice to a man. That's why men are a lot more likely to be abused in a relationship than a woman. That's why they're more likely to be physically abused. It's also why they're more likely to lose everything, because we're supposed to feel sorry for women, and every woman in America knows how to play on that. And they all do it. There is not a single woman in this country that does not know how to do that. Not one. There's not one woman in the United States that when you have an issue as a male, that she doesn't know how to twist it and turn it and make it about her and about how you're being a selfish person for going to this professional for help. That's right. Even those professionals will fucking bully you because they don't want to do their fucking jobs, like Penny Cooper. Then there's the situation with Marcia Estrada, who's supposed to be Penny Cooper's boss. Marcia Estrada knew a lot about the situation before she ever met me. Yeah, she's got other clients that spoke about me. With Marcia Estrada having multiple patients that she is aware of, with these issues with Scott Costa, with these multiple professionals in their fields that have spoken about how the system does not work. What are they doing? Are they still doing their jobs? No, they're not. They're pretending. They accept your money just like TCCHC is taking your money. I'm not paying for these visits. You are. You're the American taxpayers. I don't work anymore. And it's not because of my shoulder. That's the least of my fucking problems. Matter of fact, I got a lot more mobility in it than I used to. It just hurts. Took a lot of stretching, and it took a lot of beating with a fucking hammer, and every impact hurt my back like a motherfucker. You get to see how these predators preyed on your assumptions of mental illness. How they preyed on your assumptions of men, your assumptions of the homeless. How I never stood a chance in hell. Because anyone can victimize me. They don't have to do their jobs. They can take advantage of your money and my money and our time. And then they can talk over you when they do something wrong. They can talk over you and try to make you believe that it's your fault. It's not your fault that they're not doing their jobs. We are being sent to inadequate assistants that will not do their jobs. What did Marcia Estrada or Penny Cooper do about any of the abuse that I was going through? How about Megan Misegatis? What did she do about any of the abuse that I was going through? By the way, I'm still going through that abuse. It doesn't matter where I go. That's the problem with not being allowed to defend yourself in court. That's the problem with the term mentally ill being used to harm the victim further. You get to see how much more likely we are to be victimized than others. And you also get to see why. You get to see how looks come into play. How whether or not your family gives a shit comes into play. Are your family the kind that are going to help out the victim, or are they going to help out the predators like my mother did? Helping my little brother get away with molesting his own daughter. What a fucking sick piece of shit my mother is for that. Not that it matters. All of my family helped my predators to get away. And every one of them took part in their own way in being my predators. I curse, you goddamn right I do. That doesn't make me a predator. That just shows that I know realistically what it takes for you stupid cunts to listen. If I'm trying to explain it to you calmly, you pretend like there isn't a problem. Until I literally have to scream in your face. Hey, there is a major fucking problem. Stop downplaying it and do your fucking job. And that's what everyone does. That's why I tell people like Girl Interrupted to get the fuck off my channel. To go the fuck away. She doesn't care about anyone else. I do speak about a lot of the other victims on my channel. On her channel, no, she doesn't. She only talks about herself. That is very much key right there to trusting someone. And when you act like that, when you show that you only care about yourself and everything is only about you, no, you are not a friend. No, you don't care about me. I don't owe it to you to pretend that you care about me. And I'm not going to pretend that you telling me what to do is help, because it's not. It's bossiness, and that's all it is. Another sign that you're a fucking narcissist. You like that? Girl Interrupted calls everyone narcissistic. Everybody's a narcissist but her. Really? Really? You know what's fucked up? She's right. For the most part, your self-preservation makes you narcissistic. You do understand how important it is to actually care about what people think. You should care what other people think. They will literally kill you over what they think. So yes, it's very important. Should I follow Chris Stegeman's situation? What would he do if people were doing this to his sister? He'd remove their heads, according to him. He would remove their heads. Can you imagine if I went and started removing the heads of my predators? What is it that Candace Bondurant said that she would do? She said she'd put a 45 between their eyes. Imagine if I put a 45 between the eyes of all of my predators. What did Sarah Bacon say? She's recorded on this channel. What did she say that she would do? It's always violence. Always violence. The help I needed was taking my predators to court. The help that people wanted to offer me is to pretend like they would get violent with people. Oh, I'm so angry, you would what? Preach at the peanut gallery but never speak up? No. We've taught women that it's okay for them to take advantage of men, that men owe it to women. How many of you haven't sold yourself that bullshit? If a woman pretends like she's being victimized, a lot of people will destroy an innocent man's life and make his life hell. If a woman pretends that she's being stalked, people will pretend that that man is a stalker and use that as an excuse to actually stalk him. But we don't hold women accountable to their words or their actions, do we? Fuck this goddamn country. Nearly every one of these conversations that I've had, you get to hear how people talk over it. Talk over the important parts. You can tell in most of these conversations where I go from being calm and trying to explain it to where I am fucking livid. Like, holy shit, will you shut the fuck up with the pretty meme? I know that you've been holding that pretty meme that you saw 2 weeks ago in your head for 2 fucking weeks and looking for an opportunity to spit it out somewhere. Do not apply it to my situation. Find out what my situation is. But I don't matter. When you're lower on the social ladder, everybody else has the right to speak but you. And they treat you that way. Even if they do listen to you, are they listening to understand? Or are they listening to try to shoot everything down before you're finished speaking? See, it's not just what people did to me, it's also the repercussions for me. Repercussions that are lifelong. You don't get to walk away from this shit. Without a friend or family member who cares, what did my family members care to do? Nothing unless they were paid. And then if they were paid, still nothing. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. All of you. If I had had one good friend through any of this, just one real friend, none of it would have ever happened. This abuse wouldn't have been reciprocated everywhere that I fucking go. See, I have to be afraid of going to the police because of how the police treat the homeless. And why do they treat the homeless this way? Because we're all of your easy go-to victims. You didn't get what you wanted for your 16th birthday. It's our fault. The man that you wanted doesn't want your fat ass. So it's the rest of men's fault. Your daddy thought of you as a pocket pussy. So it's all men's fault, isn't it? Well, unless they're good looking, in which case, even if they are a rapist, you don't care. It's all men except for the ones that you're attracted to, isn't it? The men who you are not attracted to, you just assign that to. I can't really identify as a heterosexual because I'm not. But I'm projected as a heterosexual male. So I defend myself when people are being hateful towards me for being a heterosexual male. I say it's my right to be a heterosexual. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Plain and simple. But then I've got the heterosexuals that want to pretend that I'm a homosexual as their excuse. We know these guys too, don't we? And although, according to Ariana, I don't really fit into the LGBT category because I'm not interested in anybody. I get heterosexuals who make fun of me for being a homosexual. I get homosexuals who make fun of me for being a heterosexual. I get lesbians who make fun of me for being a heterosexual. Straight men and women have made fun of me for being gay, or used the fact that I'm gay as an excuse to do horrible things or to deny me the rights of a human being, to treat me as if I'm not a human being. My mother is one of those people. Let me tell you about the fact that I am gay. When I was about 15, I had a Teresa Orn. What was a Teresa Orn? Well, Teresa Orn was a babysitter when I was a really little kid, and she was friends with my mom. We knew each other from Erie, Colorado. She used to date a guy named Jesse. His mom lived next door to us, and she killed herself. Erie, Colorado. That was like 1984, 1985, somewhere in there. Now, Teresa was visiting when I was about 15. My mom was in the room, and she was talking about how she thinks I'm gay. And Teresa said, "But if you are gay, it's okay. We will still love you." And my mom said, "I won't." Teresa Orn and I have spoken about that situation. Why did Teresa Orn throw me away like I was garbage? Because she called me up multiple times drunk, didn't care about the damage that she was doing to me by demanding my attention. When I'm going through hell, and she is demanding that I do as she says and listen to what she says, and then listen to her talk almost nonstop about her dead husband and how horrible life is for her. How the hell is talking about yourself nonstop gonna help me? That's right. My mother had already decided when I was 15 that I was gay and she wasn't gonna love me. Oh, poor fucking you, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, that your parents don't accept you because you're fucking gay. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, poor you. You think you're the only defective children? That's right. The Christian community treats us all like we're defective, like there is something wrong with us. If I don't want a conventional marriage with one of your fucking church hoes, who's only using God as an excuse to fucking manipulate people and get what she wants, get a free fucking ride out of dudes who are taught that they're supposed to, what, give up their entire lives for selfish people who feel entitled and owed? Church is such a fucking racket. I have a Bible with me, just so you know. I used to read it frequently. My older brother, he doesn't read the Bible, but he wants to tell me what's in it, which is funny. My mom doesn't read the Bible, but she wants to tell me what's in it, which is funny. I read the whole Bible when I was 6. I was on home leave, and right after I got done reading a book, I'd write my name on the back page. Berenstein Bears, Dr. Seuss, didn't matter. They were called the Little Golden Books. And when I was done reading them, I'd write my name in the back, on the back page, so that I knew that I'd read it. Well, I ran out of books at my mom's to read, so I read the Bible, and then I wrote my name, because it's a big, thick book, I wrote my name on the binding. Or on the side of it, on the papers. My mom smacked the hell out of me for that. You don't read the book, you don't know what the fuck is in it, but you're gonna fucking smack your kid for apparently doing something horrible to the book. It's just a book, lady. My mom's only Christian when it suits her. She made me get rid of my Magic the Gathering cards because there was dragons and there was the devil. She made my stepdad get rid of the swords that his brother got him from Korea because they had dragons on them and they was the devil. Then my mom got addicted to World of Warcraft and it was okay for her to ride around on those demon dragons. Yeah. How the rules change when it's what you want. You've stated loud and clear that you don't want me to be a part of your society. I can't be a heterosexual because you don't like me and you're a heterosexual. I can't be a homosexual because you're a homosexual and you don't like me. So you don't want me to be a part of your group. That's right, I identify as a lesbian. I'm only interested in lesbians. However, if a lesbian is interested in me, she's not a lesbian. Therefore, I'm safe. I don't have to deal with any of that crap. Nearly all the issues that I've had through this are through people's sex drives. People like, well, Candace Bondurant, Lana Engelheim, Tabitha Michelle Cook. And no, most of those women, their sex drive wasn't aimed at me, or Stephanie Mejia, or Shannon Alvarado. They got horny, and when they were horny, that was what was important, not helping me. I spent a lot of money for help that ended up being me paying for other people's vacations. Do you know how horrible it made me feel that I paid Stephanie Mejia to come all the way back to Colorado? It was fucking expensive. So that she could help me, and instead of helping me, she just spent her time cheating on her husband, avoiding her kids. He called me 27 times in one day, but that's not nearly as psycho as the women who have done this to me. Jamie Curtis called me 88 times in one day. "88 times. She wanted instant satisfaction and gratification. For me, I don't get to do that, do I? If I act like Jamie Curtis, then I'm some sort of a monster. Someone calling themselves Anna CC typed, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not. I'm disabled. But they get to deny my rights as a disabled person by calling me intelligent. They get to deny my rights as an intelligent person by pretending I have disabilities that I don't. Meanwhile, even if I did have those disabilities, it's still against the law for them not to investigate those crimes. The system is set up to victimize people with no money and no resources, to isolate them. I want you to take a look at the way the police treated me when I was abused versus how your abusive ex used to treat you. What happens? You're out in the country, right? And your abusive husband beats you up, and now you're bruised. So what does he do? He takes away your phone. He takes away the keys to your car. You're stuck in the house out in the country. He tells all your friends and family that you went crazy. Tries to basically gaslight you to all your friends before you ever get to speak. Keeps you locked up until your bruises go away. Anna CC typed, "How can we help you?" Well, you can speak out about this. There's a lot of things that I've done that, although many of you believe I shouldn't be proud of, I have to be proud of them, because that's what desperation brought me to. People threatening to kill my friends and family, and my friends and family letting me know this, but they're not helping me to turn it in. So I had to record them. Record the fact that what the police said and what the Bollinger said wasn't true. Look up Natalie Bollinger. Look at all of those sites. Listen to what they say. And then look at the evidence that shows that they're fucking bullshitting me. Don't just speak out about how homeless people are treated. Speak out about the individual cases. My channel is full of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conversations with witnesses and other victims of my predators. How would you help if it was a woman? If it was a woman who is going through this, how would you help her? That's the help that I need. I need the help that a woman would get. Anna CC typed, "That's how I found you. I don't think you were treated totally fairly." I never. That's the thing. People come to my channel and tell me they're sorry. They'll type on here or type on my Facebook or send me messages. And you're talking about how they want to be my friend, but they don't do any of the friends or family things. I've got some paperwork in here. It's from the hospital. It says what I'm supposed to do when I'm abused. The first thing I'm supposed to do is go to friends or family and turn it in right away. Now I've got 6 years worth of abuse that people, instead of helping me to turn it in right away, they want to argue with me, tell me they don't have time. Anna CC typed, I'm also a woman of domestic violence, but I didn't get help either. It's awful. You're probably broke. A broke person can still speak up. A lot of these people that were in places like Australia and Great Britain and the UK, I say UK separately from Great Britain because although the UK is a part of the British Empire, basically, a lot of those Scottish people do not have the same mindset as a lot of them filthy Brits. Thank goodness for the Brits that choose not to be filthy-minded like that. The thing is, when you're abused, you have to have a friend or family member who cares. That is literally what you have to have. And they got to stick with you. It means they have to genuinely care about you instead of, well, Anna CC, here's what most people do. After typing what you've typed, they'll type that they can't do anything because nobody's going to hear them. And they'll probably type that for 6 months before I tell them, get the fuck out of here. You can speak up for the other victims. Then there's also the, all right, well, I'll send you $50. And I get sent the $50. And it's not the $50 that's important, it's the words. That $50 may allow me to utilize a place where I can use the internet and send some of this evidence to show them. But if it takes them a week to get back a hold of me, I may become suicidal by then. Anna CC typed Canadian here, IDK. IDK stands for I don't know, I believe. Anna CC typed, how to help you other than watching and showing other people. Showing other people is important, but it's also important to show evidence. Like, words don't come together right, it's because I'm severely overwhelmed. When I'm screaming on my YouTube channel, it's because I'm dealing with people screaming in my environment often and frequently. I don't hardly get any sleep. When I do, it's restless. I have horrible nightmares about the places that I've been sent for trying to turn in my predators. There's a woman in Canada, and she's not well liked. She's a men's rights advocate, but she's also a look at me girl. Now, I'm fine with that because she is trying to utilize that to help people, but she's also a woman. And that's why a lot of men get on her site and send her money so that she can actually do the things that she does and take care of her family. So she's a female who's a men's rights advocate because it makes her money. Now, the other point is she does point out the hypocrisy in it. And one thing that you can do, you can doggedroman@gmail.com. I'm going to see if it'll let me type that in here. You can send me a message. Oh, it won't let me type at you. D-O-G, like a dog, perro, chin, D-O-G, G-E-D, like General Education Diploma, R-O-M-A-N, as in somebody from Rome, as in Rome, Italy. So, doggedroman@gmail.com is my email address. You can send me a message there. And the first thing that I will do is forward from Natalie Bollinger the message about her father being a fucking pervert, beating on these ex-stepmothers. You can show that. You can show the threats. I've got plenty of them that I can send you. Watching doesn't help nearly as much as going back and looking through the videos, finding the ones where I called the FBI, where I called local law enforcement agencies, and showing those. One of the really important things you can do is you can look at signs of trauma in adults, and especially males, and you can show how those responses are. You can also, there's a lot of evidence on my Facebook that it's difficult to show it on my YouTube, especially having to do it from a car. A lot of people don't understand the issues inherent in having to live in your car, having to live in parking lots where you don't own anything. You know, I was charged with assault against a police officer, and that was Officer Waylon Lolotai. Look his name up. WAYLONLOLOTAI. You can watch the stuff that I made about him, but the stuff that other people made about him, you can see that they have technical skills that I don't. You can speak out about that, about how I'm trying to get these skills and develop these skills while out here going through hell. I can send you hundreds of screenshots of harassment over Natalie Bollinger before she was killed. I can show you in the conversations how she was stalking my Facebook before she was killed. Her and her friends. I told her I had walked over 60 blocks to meet her where she wanted me to meet her. I had to walk over 100 blocks, though. Once I counted it out, I stated so on my YouTube channel. Sorry, on my Facebook. Jerry Sparks of, Bozeman, Montana, helped me to make this YouTube channel here after Natalie's death. Anyway, the stuff on Facebook shows that I tried to get help. It wasn't stalking, it was me trying to get help. When she claimed that I was walking right by her house, I thought she was in fucking Virginia still. So when I found out that I had a meeting with her and I could go meet with her in Boulder to stop all the crazy, as she claimed. Yeah, I was on a cane at the time. I had to throw down the cane and walk with a backpack over 100 blocks. Over 100 blocks. And when Natalie was complaining about me, what did she complain about? That I had walked over 100 blocks. I literally had to make that walk so that I could meet Kayla Trujillo, so that she'd give me a ride to meet Natalie where Natalie wanted me to meet her. Natalie wanted me to meet her at the Starbucks on Pearl Street. I wasn't comfortable there. I wanted to meet at the police station, and our messages show that. Natalie was just playing head games. She didn't want to meet at the police station. She wanted to meet at a different Starbucks. And there were people that I asked to be there. I asked Chelsea Worsing to be there for my safety. For my safety. But Chelsea Worsing is friends with many of my predators. Out of sight, out of mind, right? She's friends with severely fucked up individuals like Katie Whiteman. A lot of people are friends with Katie Whiteman. Not because she's a good person, but because she's one of those women who will try to destroy your life if you go and ask her to. Same thing with Maddie Boa. You know what Natalie Marie Bollinger never once ever claimed? She never accused me of molesting or raping her, and neither did Alicia Bollinger. That was all Maddie Boa, primarily Maddie Boa. Because there's also Natalie Bollinger's ex-boyfriends getting a hold of me. People like Tim Beeson, the guy who was threatening to kill himself on multiple occasions when Natalie was suicidal and meeting with me was the only thing that was going to help her. She had to cancel her appointment with me because Tim Beeson was threatening to shoot himself in the head. This is while I was in Virginia. The evidence shows that while Natalie and her sister were claiming that I stalked them to Virginia, it shows that not only was I invited, but we went and did what they wanted to do. What they wanted to do. That phone that was all fucked up and broken and doing its own goddamn thing, that wasn't my choice for that phone to be that broken. And it's not my choice for so many of the women in my life to be sexually driven and make their choices based on whether or not a good-looking man is willing to have sex with them. Oh, well, Sean, we're friends, but that's unless one of your predators is good-looking and wants to have sex with me, in which case, who cares? Or, oh, yeah, Sean, I'm totally down with helping you out, but then, of course, you get housing, and then like with Christine Buhit, what did she do? She destroyed a whole bunch of evidence. A whole bunch of it because she didn't want to get in trouble, because she didn't want to lose her housing. So it didn't matter how good of a person I was, the police were going to get to sell whatever narrative they wanted, and the same thing with the Bollingers. I exposed people's telephone numbers. When they're scammers, you goddamn right I'm going to speak out. Something needs to be done about these internet assholes and what they're allowed to do. Something needs to be done about what the news is doing to make sure that innocent people are harmed, especially at-risk adults on the streets. You say you don't have the resources. You don't have the resources. Really? We're expected to give up our resources on the streets to women because women have it so much worse than us, supposedly. No, they don't. No, they don't. There is only one category, total. There's only one category where women have a higher chance of being abused. It's not financially. It's not physically. It's not emotionally. No, those all belong to men. We are the most victimized in that. Sexually, women are more likely to be sexually assaulted, but by a very small margin. The thing is that us, as men, we're taught to think of sexual assault from women as something else. Well, it can't be sexual assault. It was a woman who did it. Nobody's going to listen if I tell on them. If I'm not comfortable with it, it doesn't matter because I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to be a stereotypical man. I'm supposed to be glad that somebody touched me. The way that the police treat us here is horrible. And it is nationwide. And it's not just the police, it's also the public. Well, we're told to go to the back of the bus. You can speak up. How many times did you share the situation with Johnny Depp? How many times did you share your opinions on the situation with Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith and poor Will Smith? Yes, that's right. He was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so we have to paint him as a victim. Oh, poor him, he was a victim of assaulting someone else. You get to take a look at Waylon Lolotai and how allowing him to get away with hurting me helped him to get a big head, and he hurt many others. And he's not the only one. Scott DaCosta did the same, and his deputies did the same, over and over again. Well, I'm being sent to services who will not do their jobs. They will not coordinate with law enforcement to turn in my predators, especially when some of those predators are law enforcement. In a small town like this, I can't go to the law enforcement. They're all friends with each other. That is how it is. You better be friends with your coworkers in a small town or you're not going to have a job for long, which means if you work for a crooked sheriff, you better be crooked yourself or you're not going to last long. Why is it that Sheriff Scott DaCosta went through over 20 deputies in a small town? Over 20 deputies in a 5-year period. Because each and every one of them committed felonies against me for him. They had to leave. That protected him from being put in prison, and it protected them from going to prison. But their slander gets to stand, and I don't get to fight it because they're not there to fight. If you can share stuff about Jeremy Meeks, you can share stuff about Robin Williams, you can share stuff about Bill Cosby, you can share stuff about Johnny Depp, and you can share stuff about me. Let's see. Sorry, Cece, I wasn't trying to ignore you. Cece typed, emailed you. I have a platform that Canadian politicians follow, so maybe I can help you from here. I'll do what I can. Bringing notice to what I'm going through is important. Also, showing the laws that I broke is also important because I did, in fact, break the law. While my predators, the first thing that they reached out for was threatening to kill me and my family, the first thing I did was reach out to friends and family to try to turn it in. Reach out to law enforcement to try to turn it in. Go to therapists and mental health places that I'm sent to that are supposed to help turn it in. I went and did the right thing first. The thing that people say, oh, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. Oh, you mean all the things that I did first? See, people want to pretend that I'm some sort of a monster because I eventually started cursing. Oh my God, I cursed. Eventually, after over a year and a half of people assaulting me and threatening to kill me and my friends and family over shit that literally never happened, yeah, I finally, after being treated like I was threatening some underage girl in Virginia and her family, as if I was threatening their lives in 2016 of some underage girls and their families, except they weren't underage girls, they were grown-ass adults. Grown-ass adults who had literally pulled the pity party until they got what they wanted. Oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, Sean, if you don't come here, I'll kill myself. You know how it works. You've heard the routine. You try to push people to commit suicide, and then you tell them that it's their fault. You bully someone to the point that they want to die, and when they say, hey, these people have bullied me to the point that I want my life to end. Now, instead of trying to end my life, I'm trying to turn these people in. Oh, well, we're going to lock you up on suicide watch. Excuse me, that is illegal. That is illegal. It's illegal to lock someone up on suicide watch who is not trying to commit suicide. When they're telling you outright they're not trying to commit suicide, they're trying to turn in their abusers. At that point, yeah, it's perfectly legal for me to threaten to kill people back. It is perfectly legal for me to threaten them back. But then again, all they have to do is say, oh, he's mentally ill, he's mentally ill. He's making it up, and nobody looks at the evidence. I'm going to see, there should be a notification here. Alright, I'm probably going to make a video right after this one. It's just going to be my email address, so you can get a hold of me. the thing is that you guys have seen all this stuff with the gyms here, right? Not just here, also Australia. The gym that I was talking about before, I found out it is actually in Australia. Where women are going in there, and if a man happens to just glance their direction, he must be a pervert, and they try to make him out to be a horrible person. And then, of course, people aren't falling for that now. They're like, fuck that. Now, in this gym in Australia, they let this woman have the entire room to herself. Well, she had gone there for an audience because she wanted to bust some pervert. So she went and complained. Well, then they had all these guys go in there, all these good-looking guys went in, and they started doing their routine, but they made sure that they did not look her direction. They looked away from her, and she was offended by that. So she went and complained. Then the old guy who runs the place and a few other of the older people who were there went in and just awkwardly gawked at her. One of them on the way to the restroom, because, I mean, she's literally got the phone set up so everyone can see it. Everyone can see the phone. Like, what gives? Like, we're literally giving you everything that you want, and it's not what you want. Now, those folks in Australia did it right. They did everything that she wanted, and none of it was good enough. She always wanted it a different way. We have to set it up so that I can videotape one of these guys accidentally looking at me for half a second, so I can call him a pervert and say he only goes to the gym to perv on women. So now we've got a lot of women going to the gyms, and we've got videos of them asking for help, and men are walking by. We're not going to chance going to prison for helping a woman. No. That's what this has become. A man has to be afraid that if he's not good looking, especially, that it's not okay for him to help a woman. Helping a woman is a criminal act. Some people are trying to say, well, they should make it illegal to record. No, no. Be on your fucking best behavior in public. Don't be a fucking douchebag in public. If you don't want to be recorded in public, don't go out in public. If you don't want to be recorded being a douchebag in public, don't be a douchebag in public. If you go into the public, you're going to be fucking filmed by somebody. The difference is, do you have access to it? If you are allowed to record it yourself, and you start recording because somebody's trying to harm you, and they harm you, and you have it recorded, you don't have to beg them for permission to get their body cameras. If you're assaulted by a police officer, you don't have to beg for permission to get that, do you? Now, what do police do when they harm you? They take away your phone. They take away your keys. They separate you from your friends and family. They slander you. And then they keep you locked up until the bruising goes away. The police are more brutal than your husband ever was. You just don't understand that because you're not a man. A man has to be afraid of calling the police. And over 80% of 911 calls made by a man in a domestic violence situation, he's the one who's arrested. Why is that? Because there is bias against men. And there's this bias that women are sugar and spice and everything nice. Every single one of you, men and women, know a woman out there who is a manipulative, fucking horrible person who's going to try to get involved in everybody else's business, start a bunch of drama, and then think they just get to dip out once they've created a big fucking mess. You all know that woman who, when she doesn't get what she wants, she'll run around to all of you and tell you what a horrible person a man was. Well, he wasn't that horrible until he got rid of you, was he? Not all men are evil. Not all women are evil. We need to stop catering to pretty people. We need to stop catering to rich people. Until we do that, well, the poor are pretty well stuck where they are because the poor are so used to getting screwed over by other people in desperate situations who are poor that there is no trust. It's too difficult to steal from a rich person. Besides that, a rich person might have armed guards with semi-automatic or fully automatic rifles. You know, the type that they keep trying to prevent you from having. All my predators have to do is say mentally ill and it's magically okay. You know the two people who I threatened to kill by name. I actually did that. I'll tell you their names too. Ted Bollinger and Donald Trump. I never hid it. I never pretended that those things didn't happen. In all of this situation, Donald Trump is the only actual innocent victim. Now, don't get me wrong. The man's not perfect. I'm sure he's made mistakes in his life. But he did not deserve to have his life threatened. That was a means to an end for me. That was a way to try to force the FBI to take a look. And I spoke about that on my channel. Goddamn right I did. People don't care about me, they care about the Kardashians. They care about Will Smith. They care about Chris Rock. They care about the LGBT community. They do not, however, care about me. Alright, so I'm going to give you my email address again. I'm actually going to write it down on a popsicle stick. That way you can read it. It does hurt for me to write, so I do apologize for that. Shit, there's a Sharpie here. That'll work better. Well, there was a Sharpie here, and it would have worked better. I didn't get a notification yet, though. Of course, I got all my notifications from yesterday and the day before. Did not show up until today, so... who knows? I have technological inabilities. If you could point that out, that would be very much appreciated. Because it's not that I'm not trying. Everything's full. Everything is full of evidence. Evidence of people harassing me. Evidence of people threatening to kill me and my friends and family going back to before Natalie was killed. Oh, that didn't work. It's at gmail.com, by the way. DOGGEDROMAN at gmail.com. Dogged Roman at gmail.com. It's not all caps, but I wanted to make sure that it was well enunciated so that you could see it. Dogged Roman at gmail.com. I'm not nice. I curse a lot. I say a lot of mean things. I also am an equalitarian when it comes to being an asshole. When I'm racist against every race. When I'm sexist against all sexes. I'll berate women, same as I'll berate men, and I'll point out specifically which women and men I'm speaking of. All of my predators have names. Their names are not men or women or heteros or homos or any other O's. They all have names. Names like Natalie Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa. Names like Ted Bollinger and Rochelle Shelley Campbell. There's a lot of names.